I'm Sage Tokach, and I'm here today with Tom Pike, the owner of Pike Productions. And we are here to talk about C.L. Brown the Movie, which is sponsored by the Community Foundation of Dickinson County and the Brown Memorial Foundation. So, Mr. Pike, just tell me a little bit about how you got this idea for the movie.
Well, it really wasn't totally my idea. The foundations wanted to do something to honor C.L. Brown. It was amazing. When I first came to town, I would talk to people about C.L. Brown. I'd say, you know C.L. Brown? They go, well, telephone, park. And they didn't really know who he was. And he was a tremendous asset to this community. And the foundations didn't want his legacy to be forgotten. So they wanted to do something to remind people of who C.L. Brown was and what he meant to the community. And they've done brochures and pamphlets, and they did a documentary a couple of years ago and that kind of thing. And my part of it was, I said, let's push it a little bit. Let's do something more aggressive that maybe more people would watch, something more entertaining. And I said, let's make C.L. Brown the movie.
Wow, that's such a good idea. I mean, I've lived here my entire life, and I know that, I mean, I make some connections, but I have no idea. I had no idea until I saw the movie last night of the huge impact that he actually had on the community.
Well, it's hard to get people to watch a brochure,
Sure,
you know,
sure.
And documentaries just around. But this was supposed to be entertainment, so people will show it in schools. We want it on television. We want it to be seen. We're going to put it on the internet where people can watch it for free. We want people to know about the legacy of C.L. Brown and the heritage of the community. And we just thought this was an entertaining way that would make Abilene stand out from the brochures and the other things that other people do.
Wow, that's awesome. So Pike Productions is your company, and it's based in Lake Forest, Kansas, correct?
Yeah, it's kind of Bonner Springs. You know where Camp Nash is? Mm-hmm. They're our neighbor.
Okay.
So it's kind of a wooded area, and nobody knows where it is, and we like it that way.
So the Community Foundation just found you and recruited you?
Well, actually, the documentary they did 4 years ago, they liked the people who did that.
Okay.
And they were going to have them do something else. They couldn't find them, or they're gone, I don't know what. So they couldn't get who they wanted. So they hello, and I answered the phone,
well,
and
I think
here
it
I
worked
am.
out. We're lucky to have you.
So it worked out.
Okay, so tell me just a little bit about C.L. Brown's life. Like, how much did you know about him before you started this project?
Zero.
Zero?
Nothing. I knew nothing. I hadn't heard the name. I didn't know anything about it. You know, you go down I-70 and you see the museums, telephones, but that was it. That's all I knew. So I came to town and I thought, you know, this is going to be snap, get this done pretty quick. I started reading all the memos and letters and articles and all kinds of things about him. And it took me about a month just to do the research on C.L. Brown. But the more I got into it, the more I loved the idea, and I respected what he did so much that it was a labor of love. And so I put extra time into doing the research. Sure. Glad I did.
Wow, can you give us a synopsis of the movie?
No. Come see it. Sure. Basically, it's C.L. Brown's entire life, from the day he's born till past when he dies. And he was a farm kid. They lived in Pennsylvania. The family moved here because a group of river brethren, who I believe are still around, some, moved to this area to settle Kansas back in I suppose he was born in 72, around 1880 was when the big migration was coming here of river brethren. And his family moved here with others, and they farmed. They bought a grist mill and water wheel out on the Smoky Hill River. And from that business, C.L. Brown developed everything else he did. And it talks about not only the businesses that he did, but his family life and the community. His business was huge. I mean, it was nationwide. He was well known. Cities, Chicago, Kansas City, Denver, everybody tried to get him to move out of Abilene and go to the big town. He stayed here.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
I'm so glad I had the opportunity to watch the movie last night. I mean, I had no idea that like his energy company is now Westar and his telephone company is now Sprint. That's insane that this all came from Abilene. It's
85 companies.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, insurance, an airline. I said, his companies were the United companies. I said, is that United Airlines? And they said, no. But
yeah, he had 85 companies that survived the Great Depression.
79 out of
79.
85. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, and he said it was because it had a good business structure. Every one of them was built on service and integrity and trust, and because of that, they survived.
Yeah, and he donated all of his money too.
Yes, don't give the whole movie away.
No, I won't give it away. I won't give it. So tell me, okay, how about the movie process? So how did you find your actors for the movie? A lot of them were local people.
Every one of them was local people. Every one of them was local. Every one of them was a volunteer, and it was quite a process. I wrote the movie for a lot of people. I wanted to involve a lot of community and a lot of different opportunities for people to participate. So there were originally 23 minutes of the movie is what it was, designed to go on television or be shown in a classroom. 43 minutes is what I shot for. And I went around and I tried to find actors. And I asked people, I said, would you like to be in the movie? And some of them said, no. And I couldn't find people. But I did find some key people who helped me find other people, and then we had to go around and find props, which were really hard to find. Costumes were about impossible. Locations, we were lucky to find Abilene's Victorian Inn. We used that. We used the Heritage Museum. We used the Brown Memorial Home. So we were able to find different places to shoot it. But we just had to scrounge around and find things. But it was because enough people said yes and volunteered their time, and enough stores like Countrypolitan Antiques and the other Jones store, they let us use their places to shoot, that we were able to do this because people donated and gave. It made it possible.
Wow, yeah, that's amazing. So, okay, what was the span of time that you filmed? How much did you film at a time?
It's 140 miles from my house to here.
Oh my gosh.
So I would try and come over and do things in a 3 or 4 day period,
sure.
Go away for a while, come back again. Sometimes I came over for an hour or two just to shoot. It was really hard because people were all volunteers and they all had other lives, which I found very annoying, but I understood. And so I would come over when everyone was available. And finding times when 2 or 3 people were available to do a group shot was just about impossible. You may remember a scene from the movie, and when you see the movie, there's the first phone call that the Brown Telephone ever got. They were in a small workspace above the Reflector newspaper office, and the operator is in the room, C.L. Brown is in the room, and his sales manager is in the room. That scene was shot over 3 months with 3 different people who never saw each other in 3 different buildings.
Oh my gosh.
But you put it all together, that's why they make editing, and you know about that stuff. So that's the kind of thing we had to do sometimes. There was a scene where Bum is panhandling from C.L. Brown. The original C.L. Brown we had do that scene disappeared on me. His phone was disconnected. He went away. We're going, what? And we'd already shot the scene as a 2-shot, with 2 people in it. So we had to go in and reshoot that scene because the other guy couldn't come back as a 1-shot and just splice it all together and shoot from the back.
Oh my goodness. So you had some exchanging actors in there?
Yeah, we had to change actors in the middle of the scene and not let anybody know about it. Did you notice it last night?
I did not, so that's good job.
So there you go. But that's the kind of challenge we came up with. Oh, first challenge. The first day we were going to shoot was last October, whatever it was. It was green and still summer-like, and I showed up in town, and you may remember the date, it snowed.
Oh.
You remember that?
Yes.
In the fall? And we were going to shoot that day.
Yeah, that screws things up.
Well, it's snowing. Anyway, so we had some challenges, but
it worked out.
But it worked out. It was worth it. I think it was worth it in the end because a lot of people, I think, had a great experience. And when people see the movie, I think it'll develop a pride in the town and a sense of heritage that they haven't had for a while.
Yeah, okay, so you mentioned the costumes, and I was really impressed with the costumes. They were exactly with the time period. And
Okay.
Well, I mean, they pulled off. You pulled it off.
Okay, sure.
So tell me, how did you...
There was a lot of hats.
Well, okay. Where did you get all those costumes from? You said you had some donors with the other Jones store.
People brought their own stuff for the most part.
Really?
Yeah, and some of them didn't get it. I'd say, okay, well, it was just jeans and basic shirts. I mean, styles for a large extent, haven't changed that much. So people show up with a Nike shirt on. No.
Not quite.
And if you look close, some people have to wear their shirts inside out because it says Chiefs on it or something.
It's not noticeable.
Yeah, well, yeah. But that's, I mean, people brought their own stuff. And if they didn't have something, we went with what we had.
Wow.
And if anybody wants to pick that movie apart on correctness of period costumes or props, easy to do.
That's not what it's
because
meant
we
for,
had
though.
to go. Let me say something else. You go to a movie now and it's a $100 million movie, right? Or if it's cheap, it's $50 million, and if they're just going to really throw it away, it's a $10 million movie.
Sure.
We spent $40 on this movie.
40 bucks?
40 bucks.
Oh my God.
That was for donuts for people one morning, and you know, that and lunch and things like that.
Wow, that's amazing.
Everything else was made possible because somebody let us use it.
Wow. Oh, that's great. This is just such a great thing for the community. Right. So what are your plans for this movie then?
To get people to see it. Today I'm going to go around and I'm going to talk to all the different museums and that sort of thing, try and get them to put it in their place where people can get a copy of it. We're working with the Community Foundation, trying to get it on their website so people can just go and get it that way. I'm going to go talk to the schools. If a church wants to show it, if a Boy Scout group wants to show it, if a school wants to show it, and they want somebody to speak, I'll come. Or if they just want to have a copy to show, we just want people to see the movie.
Sure.
What we're hoping is people will get this and send it off to Aunt Ellen, whose father worked for C.L. Brown, who lives now in Iowa, and so she can watch it. You know, we just want people to see the movie. That's the whole point. And whatever it takes, that's what we want to do. I also hope to be working with you guys to get it on TV.
Yeah, definitely.
And I hope you guys can help us get it on all over the area. Here's the point. What we have now is, I think, a pretty good product. Okay? What I want to do is go to the end game. And the end game was not to make a good movie. The end game was to get the community noticed. So when people go down I-70, they say, you know, we've been meaning to stop there. We'll go see Eisenhower, and we'll see the C.L. Brown stuff, and we'll see. Gives them another reason to come to town.
Definitely.
And that's what we want to do now. So showing it here is great for the community pride, but if we can get it beyond the area, we all win.
Yeah.
Including the people who come to town, because there are things, this is a great town. I don't know, you know, sometimes, can I ramble?
Go for it.
Sometimes I think you guys are too close to this town to realize what you have here. This is a very unique place. You take, what, 5,000?
6,000-ish.
6,000, and in the county, if you want to go as far as Joe Engle, every generation, something incredible has come out of here. I mean, you start with the Chisholm Trail and Hickok and Tom Smith. The next generation was C.L. Brown, a world-class businessman, known around the world. He was incredible. The next generation comes along, and here's this guy who leads the Allied forces in World War II, the World Allied forces in World War II, and becomes president. And then you come along after that, and you got a guy, Space Voyager, Joe Engle. Every generation, something has come out of this community that most communities don't have in any generation.
It's really true.
There's something very special here. I think it's the ethic, I think it's the heritage, I think it's the kind of people that are here. And you got it here, and you ought to celebrate that, and we ought to let other people know too.
Oh, yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
There you go.
So now that so your company made the movie, but now is it like your responsibility, or is it more of the community foundation? Are you working together?
I guess we're working together. I'm retired, but I don't know how to stop. I just keep doing stuff. So yeah, technically I'm done, but I'm out promoting the movie now. And I will continue to do so. I'm meeting tonight with some web people, and we're going to put it, I don't know, Facebook. I don't know that stuff, but we're going to try and get some sort of thing going. What do you do when you want to communicate with people?
Oh,
and tell people about it.
Networking.
That's what we're doing.
Okay.
We're just going to try anything we can. We're going to try and work with Sprint, trying to get them to put it in their newsletter, try and get them to help us promote whatever we can do to get the word out. And I'll just keep on working on it, because the end game was not to make the movie. The end game was to get people to watch the movie. Sure.
And these DVDs, are these for sale anywhere?
Yeah, yeah, and they're like I'm not really sure. I think about $5 or something like that.
Wow.
I mean, we're just going to make it affordable because we
Sure.
want it out there. If a library wants it, if you're watching this and you have a library, a school library, whatever, let us know, and we'll make sure you get a copy. Schools, libraries, civic organizations. If you'll show the movie, we'll get you the movie. There you go.
Wow, that's awesome. Do you have anything else that you want to say to anyone besides watch the movie?
Yes, what's next? I hope to come back in another year or two and do it again. Not C.L. Brown, but the community.
Really?
When you stop to think of all the things that we couldn't put in this story,
Sure.
from the things, you know, from the Wild West days, Eisenhower, Sealy Mansion, all the things that happen around here, there are so many untold stories that I would like to take the opportunity to do. And I want to again involve the community. And now we have kind of a core group we can start from. So I don't have to start from knowing nobody. Now I know where we can get other people involved, so you can come be a part in the movie now that you know about it. But when we started this, you didn't know anything about it.
I did not. No.
So we've got the core, we've got the stories, and if this proves to be a good way to tell people about Abilene, well, let's do it again beyond C.L. Brown. That's my goal.
Wow, awesome. And how long is this movie?
It's 38 minutes long.
38 minutes, so everyone can take 38 minutes out of their day and really get an awesome taste of what the community is like.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thanks, sir.